exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Cohen is drinking. As a matter of fact, make it a tall, frothy. I want it spilling over the brim. Getting after it today. I don't know if he was all caffeined up. I don't know if that's just Liam Cohen. We're going to find out. The press conference nailed it. They all do. And that includes your brand new head coach, Liam Cohen, today at the Miller Electric Center. The introduction alongside team owner Shad Khan. And I enjoyed it. Yeah, I tried to taper the expectations because everyone wins the press conference. Very rare where a coach goes out on his own terms. You know, maybe in college or something along those lines, you'll go from one job to another. But for the most part, you're fired, right? Certainly with this organization, you're fired. And you're talking about coming off a bad year and you're really getting into a rebuild. And you start to hear those key words like we have to work harder. It's about building the culture, turning around the culture. And I just thought Liam Cohen today was fresh. It wasn't, it wasn't like an expected Q&A. I thought he was a little bit nervous. I thought some of his answers were maybe not exactly what I expected, but this is a good thing. You know, it was honest. It wasn't canned. How much of the Doug Peterson stuff have we received over the last several years where you kind of knew what the answer to the question was going to be, even as you were going out and saying it, canned answers by veteran coaches, offensive, defensive coordinators, what have you. That was anything but today. I really got the impression that this afternoon meant the world to Liam Cohen. I mean, he's there with his wife of 5 years and 2 young kids. He's 39. He's making bank, man. He's making 13, 14, 15, whatever it is, $1 million a year. And he's reached the pinnacle of his coaching career. Look at his roots. The University of Massachusetts. After the presser today, I walked up to Liam and asked him, when's the last time you completed the maze? And he just smiled and he laughed. He goes, are you from there? I said, no, I'm from Boston. And he said, it's been a long, long time. For those of you who do not know, there's a maze on the campus of the University of Massachusetts, or as it's affectionately referred to, Zoo Mass. All right, Dr. Julius Irving, Liam Cohen, maybe the two most famous when it's all said and done, out of Amherst, Massachusetts. But he seems like a really a good guy. But that's always going to be the case. Everyone wins a press conference in the latter part of January. Now there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I also thought it was pretty refreshing today. To me, it felt like this was a massive achievement for his career in that every moment that he was there today, he appreciated it and that he worked hard to get to that level. And obviously knowing that he's got twice the hard work to do now to try to turn around a franchise that's lost, 18 of their last 23. To turn around a franchise that unfortunately has become comfortable with losing. That is going to be a massive challenge for him. And, one thing that he was asked today that I would disagree with was when, I don't remember who the reporter was, asked the question, what excites you most about this Jaguars football team? His answer was leadership, okay? I almost fell out of my chair. There isn't any leadership on this football team. It is a very poor club as far as leadership. But that is also what you would expect a coach to say, right? Now, can he get leadership out of this bunch? He mentioned Josh Hines Allen. I'm like, really? I mean, he's kind of sketchy when it comes to his, but he mentioned him, right? Then he went to Trevor. We've seen the maturation process for Trevor, but Trevor's completing 63% of his passes. And Trevor's missed 8 games in the last 2 years. And he's had 7 different injuries. And he's had 2 concussions. At this point, he's not a great leader, right? He's just not. Now, doesn't mean he can't become one. He's going to be 25 this year. So maybe in a way, that is the answer that you would expect an incoming head coach to give you. But for someone who covers this team and watches them day after day after day, and you as the listeners, the great fans of this organization, I assume most of you would agree with me. There isn't leadership in that locker room on that football team. You may disagree. If so, all the power to you. But to me, that is, if you were to start to write down things that need to change, there's a lot with this football team. The good news is the cupboard's not bare. You've got some tools to work with. You've got some players on this roster that very easily can take you from 4-13 to, dare I say, 11-6 or 10-7 and battle for the AFC South in just 1 year. We all know the numbers. 10 losses this year by 1 possession. I think leadership had a lot to do with many of those losses. And guys that went out and were brought in to provide leadership, if we saw it early, it went away. If we saw it early with Ronald Darby, it went away. Because if you can't play in this league, it goes away. It never worked with Eric Armstead. Never should have signed him anyway. The kid wasn't healthy. And we tried to make him up as like the next Calais Campbell. Anything but. Darnell Savage, really wanted to believe what he was going to bring to this football team. But again, he was another injured guy that they brought in. Maybe that's the biggest question to the general manager, whoever it is going to be. Feel free when you bring in free agents to have them not injured. I mean, Gabe Davis, Darnell Savage, Eric Gar, these guys couldn't even move during the offseason. And it's not like you underpaid them for it. You still absolutely gave them more than what they were worth. So anyway, he said leadership. And, I think it's expected, but I would disagree with that. But you also have to look at it this way. Maybe he sees something that I don't. He's a coach. I'm not. He's a very successful coach. All right? Does he believe that by pushing the right buttons, by putting together the right system, which includes classroom work, film study, nutrition, working out, then you get to the practice field, then you get to the scheme, everything that you put into it, does he believe that he can actually go on out and create some leadership that we have not seen, that there are willing individuals on this roster where you can get it? You would think that leadership could really flip with wins. Winning fixes everything. Your word goes a lot longer when you win. When you lose, no one wants to hear it. When you lose, you start to divide. When you lose, you start to point fingers. When you win, everyone's happy. And maybe it rubs off on one another. So that's the most important thing I got out of this today is as far as I was concerned. He also came right out fairly early and said something that just blew me away, because he talked about complementary football. And it was John Shipley from Sports Illustrated who wrote about this at some point throughout the course of the season. And I thought it was really good because I had been looking for the word or words to kind of describe what was wrong with this team. And it was in this article. But I'll give Shipley credit, as I always give credit to individuals who, provide something that I think is informative. And that really defined the 2024 Jaguars, the lack of complementary football, right? Think of how many times the defense, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, then finally the offense scores. And you just need one more defensive stop, and they're going to let Aiden O'Connell go 5 plays, 70 yards. Took 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and you couldn't come from behind. Or the exact opposite. You know, the offense keeps coming back, and they're down. They come back, and they make themselves, a part of it. Then all of a sudden, the defense does their job. Remember against Houston? Give it back to the offense, a chance to win. They go 3 and out. Okay, that's the lack of complementary football. And he really talked about that today. 3 phases: offense, defense, special teams. I loved it. That was the best part out of what I got from what he said earlier this afternoon. He also went deep into the line of scrimmage and how that's a priority. And that is something, unfortunately, that you, as fans of this organization, has not seen in a very long period of time. You have not seen men playing football. You have not seen tough football. You have not seen line of scrimmage football. You have seen the coward of the county brand. Folks turning their cheek on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. When it's time to man up, this team hasn't been able to get the job done. In the ditch, offensive line, defensive line. They've been outpowered by their opponent. Looking at Liam Coen today, and he even went as far as to say, and I'm putting words in his mouth now, so I'm not quoting him, but I think his answer was, you would, again, I'm paraphrasing, you would say that there's obviously room for improvement there or growth there. Again, I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but it's been crystal clear to him in the amount of tape study he's already been able to observe, what his knowledge was of this football team, etc., that if they're going to take that next step, not only do you need leadership, you need some tough guys in the middle. You do. And right now you don't have it with your interior offensive line and your interior defensive line. They're okay at tackles, and obviously they're okay at the edge. Right? I mean, Walker Little, if he gets healthy, Anton Harrison, okay, there's 2. Trayvon Walker, 3. Josh Hines on 4. You're okay. I mean, you're good there. I'm not going to say you're sensational there, but I think you're average to above average if you were to look at the 4. Now slide inside and do it. Give me your 2 D tackles or your rotation, or give me your 3 interior offensive linemen or your rotation. What? I mean, come on. And he pointed that out today. A priority for this football team is the line of scrimmage. I know it's a boring brand of football, but running Tank Bigsby and running Travis Etienne, 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, first down, is great football. That's moving the chains. That's tiring out your opponent. That's getting your offensive line all lathered up. That's keeping your defense on the sideline. That's tick, 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 tick. You're watching the clock melt away. That's how you win games. And he said it. You got to run and stop the run. And look at what he did with that Tampa Bay offense. They were averaging just over 80 yards a game rushing in 2023. Still a divisional winning football team in Tampa. This year, they ran for nearly 150 yards a game. I think it was 149.4 a game. In his 1 year as an offensive coordinator, that's outstanding. There's no reason why they can't find a couple of interior offensive linemen, put in the right blocking scheme, and run the ball with Etienne and Bigsby. And if you can do that, think about how much more potent your passing offense is going to be if you can run the ball. Liam Coen talked about that a little bit earlier today. All right, I asked Liam Coen right out of the gate the question that I had wanted to know for a very long period of time, and it's something that I think we all expected, But it was good to hear the new coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars answer it this way. You will be calling offensive plays.
Yes, Rick, absolutely. We'll be calling football plays.
There you go. This world that we live in, Duval, from the intracoastal to Michler's and Ponte Vedra, okay, was freaking flat for the last 2 years. Because Doug Peterson made that an absolute mountain, all right? It was uncalled for. It was all on him. It became more than a life of its own. It was the number one distraction with this football team. Who's calling plays? Is it Doug? Is it Press? Is it Press? Is it Doug? I think we were all under the assumption that Liam Cohen was coming here to call plays. Now we know for sure. The relationship with him and Trevor Lawrence, and we'll get to some more of this coming up after our very first break, is what needs to be set in stone for hopefully the next 10-plus years. This is going to be the fourth different signal caller for Trevor Lawrence as he begins his fifth year. Saw Trevor today. Walked into the Miller Electric Center, had his non-throwing shoulder in a sling. There was some other players there today as well. I was told Christian Kirk was there. I didn't see Christian. But, I'd heard that he was actually there. We were sitting in the team room. And I was way over to if you look at the stage, I was way over to the right, and he came in on the other side of the left. So if some other players came in either prior to it or after it, I unfortunately just missed out on it. But that's to me, that's a major win. And again, I expect it, but what would it have been like if all of a sudden, well, I don't know for sure, and you got these rumors that Chip Kelly's coming here, and to keep Chip Kelly away from going to Houston. What if he's going to give Chip no. You have an offensive coordinator now by definition. You have an offensive coordinator position and a coach by the definition of it. But the play caller is your head coach, Liam Cohen. And he announced that earlier today. So that is a big win, in my opinion. Now you can just settle in with these two and talk offense. Exactly what you want to do. It's going to be a totally different look than what we have seen the last couple of years with Press Taylor and Doug Peterson. This is going to be a different style of offense in so many different ways. And it's going to be a lot of fun to break it down. We'll be bringing on some guests from Tampa and, some others around the league that are very familiar with what Tampa Bay has done to really kind of open things up and express what they believe Liam Cohen's going to be able to do with Trevor Lawrence and company here in Jacksonville. So it's great to have you with us. Alongside Dylan Denmark, my name is Rick Ballou. We get things started each and every night with the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez. Let us also introduce Dr. John Hunt, who is an ophthalmologist, okay? Expertise in cataract surgery, also cosmetically speaking, eyelid surgery. I mean, his repertoire is off the chart. And that's what it's about when it comes to your eyes. It's needs and wants. You may want eyelid surgery. You may want something cosmetically speaking. What about the needs? Your eyes all of a sudden have gone south. You don't know what it is. The strength is gone. Fatigue has hit you. You're driving home now. It's just gotten dark, and you're like, what's up with my eyes? Well, set up an appointment today. They're the best around. Shmunez Vision. All right. They'll update your prescription. They'll tell you exactly what it is that you need. Maybe you want laser eye surgery. You have 20/20 for the rest of your life. If it is something more significant like cataract or cataract surgery, you got more than 30 years worth of experience here with the three that I mentioned over at Shmunez Vision. Check them out. Go to Shmunez Vision online or go to Instagram and get all of the testimonials at Shmunez Vision. We are jam-packed. Press conference in the books, a victory for Liam Cohen. Your thoughts? You heard it, I hope. We streamed it for you on our apps, and we played it on both stations earlier this afternoon. Got started right around 3:30. If you were able to listen to it and you want to share your opinion, the best way to do so is on our text line, which is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Add a little fun to your morning ride.
It's like we got another show to do.
Dan Hicken.
Great.
Jeff Prosser.
Let's get it over with.
The Drill.
We have a few items we want to straighten out first.
Mornings
I don't think you understand who you're talking to here.
on 1010XL.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Before the Great American Race on Sunday, the high banks of Daytona heat up with a Saturday night showdown in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Experience the intense competition up close on the sport's biggest stage to kick off the 2025 season. The NASCAR Xfinity Series at Daytona International Speedway, Saturday, February 15th. Tickets start at just $49, and kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Secure your seats now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Aunt Linda clogged the guest bathroom. Your nephew thought the AC was a snow machine. And let's not even talk about the kitchen sink after that turkey grease incident. Ooh.
Congratulations, your family finally left. But the mess stayed behind.
Don't worry. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning can fix it all. From backed up pipes to overworked AC units, we've got you covered.
Start the new year fresh, because your house deserves it.
Call Duck Rooter today at 904-862-6769. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Right now, get $50 off any service of $150 or more.
Soccer continues to grow on the First Coast, and so does the need for better coverage. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley
on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour, Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Foods, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood's. You hear about guarantees and warranties. What is Underwood's policy?
Frank, to talk about guarantees and warranties, you have to look at our history of over 70 years in business. Underwood's entire reason for existence is and has been to offer fine products that will be used with such satisfaction that both the giver and the receiver will want to come back. And hopefully they'll tell their friends about us. To do this means we've got to try our hardest to satisfy every customer. All of our people understand that. Now, I'm sure over the years we've made a few mistakes, but we've never failed to make good on any Underwood product that was returned with a legitimate customer complaint. Our entire reputation would mean nothing if we didn't conduct ourselves that way. Simply put, conducting our business with integrity is a lot more important to Underwoods and our customers than all the guarantees, warranties, and contrived legal obligations in the world. And you've got Underwood's word, my word, and all of our people's word on that.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Someone's going to teach Liam Cohen about Lynyrd Skynyrd. Also teach him how to do the correct Duval.
Duval.
That is interesting. It was, man. No doubt. All right, tonight's show brought to you by Miller Electric Company, and we were in the Miller Electric Center today, and that place is the best facility in the National Football League. Okay, and go back to the days of Urban Meyer to credit that, and he spoke on that. Liam Cohen, you have the best facilities in the NFL. Practice facilities, everything else indoors at the Miller Electric Center is just absolutely spectacular. And they're hiring right now. They've been here now for 96 years. All the building that's going on, that's going to continue, particularly downtown. But no matter where you go, you see that the roads are being ripped up and they're expanding and more buildings are going up. Heck, where I live around Bartram, it's just insane. When's the last time you've been around Phillips Highway, especially out in the Bayard parts? This continuously growing Miller Electric Center, they believe in rewarding hard work, best pay, top-notch benefits, and unbeatable culture where people actually cared about one another. They tackle the biggest projects in the city and offering you a chance to showcase your skills on the grand scale. Just go to Miller Careers for all of the details. That's Miller Careers online to get that. Dylan Denmark. Big day here in Duval.
Yeah, when he did the Duval, did everybody cringe like how I did when I first listened to it, or was it just kind of everybody just kept to themselves?
You know, it was almost like he was kind of doing it in a way like whispering, almost as if he was saying it to like a table of 2 or 3 people. And I just think it kind of came out awkward would be the best word that I could use it. But he'll learn. And if that's the worst thing that he's going to do around here, I mean, wow. But yeah, it was a little bit of, I think awkward's the best way to describe it. I actually thought it was kind of humorous.
Yeah, it was pretty funny when I listened to it. It was a little cringe, but it's funny. I felt I didn't listen, or I listened to the audio only. I didn't get to see it on my way in. He seemed very excited.
Yeah.
Like every answer you could tell, like he was answering it with a smile on his face.
There's no doubt. Today he looked like a 39-year-old man. Okay, this wasn't some grizzled veteran that's gone from coaching, head coaching position to head coaching position. He's done a lot of traveling. That's been documented. He hadn't stayed in the place in more than 2 years for quite some time. You know, he's had a lot of different jobs, but I mean, this was a highlight day for him. This was making it to the top, and obviously for him and every other head coach, it's about staying there, staying on top. And unfortunately, this franchise, the track record is not good. Around here, coaches get hired to get fired. And let's hope that's not it for Liam Cohen. All right, we got a couple of people here questioning his answer to me about him saying, yes, Rick, we will be calling plays. I didn't see it or hear it that way. Let's play this one more time and see if we can, break down exactly what Liam Cohen said when I asked him if he would, in fact, be calling offensive plays. You will be calling offensive plays.
Yes, Rick. Absolutely. We'll be calling football plays.
Absolutely will be calling, right? Not we will, but Yes, Rick absolutely will be calling. And the way he nodded his head, looked at me, body language, I don't think anyone who saw it would question the fact that he is not going to be the offensive play caller. You agree with that?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. But it's, you can hear things. And if you didn't see it, you're driving around, you're listening. And again, I'm always going to promote radio over everything else because I think radio is the best. But maybe it did sound like, yes, Rick, we will be calling the plays. Translation, whoever I hire as the offensive coordinator, combined effort. And I saw on Twitter many other members of the media who were at this press conference, and they had it nearly identical that I had it, that yes, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion.
It felt like to me when I listened to it the first time, I was like, all right, yeah, that's done. Move on. He's calling plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no, well, let's hire the staff, and I'm thinking about, no, I was like, I'm calling plays.
Yeah. And I certainly thought that because I went on to ask him another question about Trevor, which we're going to play here in just one second. But if there was another member of the media who misinterpreted it and felt that, wait a minute, did he just say we will be calling plays? In other words, it's going to be a package deal or something else. One of my colleagues would have said, can you go through that again? Can you reiterate what you said earlier? You're calling plays, correct? And I think that, as a matter of fact, I know from being there that was the way that he answered the question. Liam Cohen is going to be calling plays for this football team. Let's play number 5. I asked him about Trevor, and that's where I mentioned the fact that, with him coming in now, that's 4 different play callers in what will be Trevor Lawrence's 5th year. Talked about consistency and stability and what you've seen in Trevor Lawrence and what you believe you can do and where you can take Trevor Lawrence moving forward.
I was telling Trevor this the other day that I've watched him play, live as a freshman in high school. It was Buford High School against Cartersville. Excuse me. Sorry, I was in the South Georgia. I was in Georgia, man. That's all I knew. And I was seeing this freshman in high school play the position at a high level, standing tall, making throws, delivering. And I walked out of there like, man, this is different. I had no idea who he was. And then you fast forward to now, right? How do we make Trevor Lawrence in this offense as dynamic and explosive as we can be, right? We've got to build it around him as well, right? We've got to make every part of this about improvement, and he will be a part of that process. He's earned that right. I cannot respect his toughness and mentality and work ethic more than I do already from afar. And this will all be about Trevor right now.
That's the correct way to answer the question. Yeah, I mean, you've got $275 million invested in Trevor Lawrence, and he's sitting there watching his new head coach speak with his arm in a sling. And I know that I repeat myself. And I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're always bringing in new listeners. That's what radio has told you over the decades. Number two, it's what I believe. Everything else is so far down the line. And we've already talked about very important things like running the ball and leadership and getting tough in the ditch. And all of this comes together to support Trevor Lawrence. Everyone else, and I hate to say it this way, is going to at some point be expendable. Even these guys you just signed, like Josh Hines-Allen and Tyson Campbell and Walker Little. I mean, let's check back in 2 years. Are they still part of the plan? Or is their contract on the verge of expiring? Or is their contract at the point now where you're better off eating some dead money for a year and letting them go because you need to get younger? The only one that is going to be consistent is Trevor Lawrence. He's 25 years of age. In a perfect situation, you hope that this guy can be your quarterback till your late 30s if he actually does develop. So to hear Liam Cohen speak on it that way, and again, this wasn't typical canned answers. This felt a little bit more genuine to me, and I think some of that is because this is him as a first-time head coach, and this is his first time answering these questions. I also absolutely believe that is what he believes. That is his understanding, that he's got an opportunity here. He does have talent-wise, but I hate the word potential, especially using potential at the professional level. To me, potential is a teenage word, right? A college word. Now, maybe you business owners out there, you would disagree with me, and that's fine. I'm kind of limiting this to sports. But if you're deep into your professional career and you're still talking about the word potential, that means as a pro, you haven't done it. Now, Trevor's only been around for 4 years, and it's been a circus for a lot of it. But that's what I got out of that, is that you take this team and you build it absolutely around Trevor Lawrence. Get a running game. Get some interior offensive linemen. He stretches offenses vertically, does Liam Coen. He stretches defenses horizontally, does Liam Coen. He wears you down by running the football. I mean, look at these numbers. It is absolutely spectacular. If you analyze the numbers of Liam Coen and what he did last year, okay, this is from Jaguars.com. Or actually, it's from the Jaguars PR department. Third down conversion rate, 50.9, number 1 in the NFL. When's the last time Jacksonville's been in the top 10 in third downs offensively? Liam Coen had him at number 1. Godwin missed 10 games. Evans missed 3 games. You're getting others involved. You're running a rookie tailback, number 1 in third down offense, percentage-wise. First downs per game, 23.2, second in the NFL. Completion percentage, 71 and a hook, second in the NFL. This year, Trevor Lawrence completed 60% of his passes. I think Mac Jones completed 65% of his passes. Tampa Bay, number 2 in the NFL, 71.5. You're talking about moving it up 10 points from Trevor, 11 points, percentage-wise. Passing touchdowns, 41, tied for second in the NFL. Total yards per game, 399.6, third in the NFL. Passing yards per game, 250.4, third in the NFL. Yards per rush, 5.3, third in the NFL. I freaking love that number. Liam Coen can play an NFL game in 90 minutes. You know how? First and 10, to give us the tank, he gives us 5.3 yards. That makes it what? Second and 5. They give us the tank. First down, Jacksonville. Tick, tick, tick. You're not even going to have 2 Miller Lights in you, and the game's going to be over because Liam Cohen's going to run the football, and the 60 minutes is going to vanish just like that. 5.3 yards a carry? That is insane. Third in the NFL. Points per game, 29.5. Jacksonville averaged just over 18. Fourth in the NFL. Rushing yards per game, 149.2. Fourth in the NFL. And yards per play, 6.2 yards a play. Fourth in the NFL. Look at these numbers. The guy gets it. Is the sample size significant enough for you? 18 games in his career? I don't know. Only time can tell. But this is going to be a variety of different things that he can do. It almost feels like no matter what Liam Coen wants to do, his belief as a coach that he can do it, whether it's running or passing. Deep ball, horizontal ball, a lot of screen work, ton of stuff behind the line of scrimmage. I got some numbers to support that as well. Maybe I'll get to it a little bit later on the show. Under center, not always shotgun. This is comforting. I mean, how many times have I yelled because the Jaguars are asleep in the first quarter? The Jaguars offensively are a mime. They're in a coma. They got that late TD. I think they scored twice in their first possession this year, but didn't they go like 21, 22 games in a row, Dylan, without scoring on their first possession until they finally did it? I think it was like week 13, week 14.
Yeah, they had a 9-minute drive against somebody. Wasn't it here? It was a home game late in the season.
No.
I forget who. I'll look it up. But yeah, that's correct. Going back to last year, they couldn't do it.
It's a knockout today. It was. Liam Cohen wins the press conference, as expected. They all win the presser. But I hope you, and this is the most important part of it, I hope you, here on the 27th day of January, I hope you're having a good day, because you should. The Jaguars have found their new head coach.
Play-by-play just makes everyday life better.
I did not see this one coming.
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
It's the time of year all our customers love. At Garber Auto Mall, every 2024 must go. Take advantage of thousands in discounts on all new Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Ford. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there's always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Coen Flowers floral arrangement. Or how about just sending one person you love a floral arrangement? Coen Flowers can handle it all.
Gun charges, drug charges. I'm Attorney Malcolm Anthony, and I specialize in handling these types of felony cases. Stay out of trouble. But if you don't, call me at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Yo, it's your boy E to the T here with my book, and our listeners have been killing it, and we're now set for the final stretch of the road to New Orleans. My bookie is the one book that got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? My bookie does. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step it up and use our promo code 1010XL, and that'll double your bankroll with a 15% deposit bonus right from jump. Here's a pro tip that'll get you rolling. The big game prop bets are going to be plentiful. So take a hard look at player props and those wacky big game props. And stack that with my bookie risk-free Thursday. So what you waiting for? There's a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, forget about it. My bookie refunds you your money back. Sign up now, use my promo code 1010XL, and they'll give you a 50% deposit bonus. It's the best sign-up bonus in Florida for batters. The road to New Orleans is here for the big game. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. Come on, somebody.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 27, 1969, 37-year-old Chuck Noll becomes the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, where at the time he was the youngest head coach in the NFL, leading the Steelers to 4 Super Bowl victories.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. No matter the weather, Triumph has an unbelievable selection of rides where you can get out and just enjoy the highway.
They do. The new Rocket is out with the new color schemes, the Tiger 1200, which has been revamped. These bikes are nice, gorgeous, and ready to ride.
And if you want to take a look at the selection, they can just roll into the showroom and see a full variety.
We've got them all in stock and ready to go.
So if you log on, cyclesofjacksonville.com, search the Triumph line, and then head into the showroom, you'll be impressed. Cycles of Jacksonville.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Hey,
this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Cannonball!
Honey, someone's in our pool.
Oh, refreshing.
John, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Dave. Seeing as how me and the guys at Clearwater Irrigation reinstalled your sprinklers after the pool contractor ripped it out, I thought you wouldn't mind if I took a quick dip.
But in a Jaguar print Speedo?
Yeah, Dave. My bad.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Stone on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hi, big day in Duval. Liam Coen introduced as the Jaguars' 8th coach. Met with us earlier today over at the Miller Electric Center. A lot of dignitaries in attendance. Good to see some folks I haven't seen in a little bit of time, and thought it was an enjoyable press conference today. I guess I wasn't there for the Jack Del Rio one. I was in Chicago, but I've been around for the others, and some stick out more than others. I thought this one today, and there has been a few announcements. Oh, by the way, he did come on the air before I did, along with Frank and Hayes, and announced that Heath Farwell is returning as the special teams coach. Okay, and special teams has been fantastic. Logan Cook, and if you were to list the top 10 Jaguars, Logan Cook in a lot of people's minds right now could be the second best Jaguar, right? I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. 1, Logan Cook 2. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here, but that's the truth. He is very consistent. Of course, Cam Little as a rookie did a really good job. Ross Matisic has been acknowledged as a Pro Bowler as well. So, not to get on a separate topic here, but I don't want too many more returning. And my reasoning for that is, and this is another real issue, and it's not something that, there was a lot of transparency today, but there was so many people around. Once we get more of an opportunity with Liam Coen, we'll be able to ask more and more and more each time. One thing I'm really fascinated about is every coach comes in and they're aware of the fact that they have to change the culture, because all 7 teams that replace their coach are having that conversation with the local media and are having that conversation with the people that are around them and how to get to the players. But one thing that happened here that is really concerning, this team accepted losing. This team became comfortable with losing. I've never seen anything like it. And I think some of that may be just today's athletes. Let's be honest, they don't care as much. They get over it a hell of a lot quicker. I don't do shows to benefit what athletes think, what coaches think. I always have done it based on the way that I think you as the fans think. You're crushed. I mean, your week is ruined. They're already over it. All right? Their paycheck cleared. It's their livelihood. The life expectancy of an NFL player is less than 4 years. They don't dwell on it. Some do, but hardly any for the most part. And I thought there was an acceptance around here of, well, we played hard. We lost by one possession. Let's move on. He's going to have to fix that. The comfortable feeling of losing. It's awful. Okay? A lot of this stems from people my age, the parents. We give these kids trophies when they lose. We give these kids trophies when they participate. You get to the top level, you lose this. I mean, we saw Josh Allen, his facial expression on the bench yesterday in Buffalo. I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see people that really care that they lost. Show the stands. Show 100 Buffalo fans. All 100 of those Buffalo fans are going to be showing you pain and suffering and despair. And you deal with it as Jaguar fans every Sunday, and it starts off your week on a Monday. You'd like to see that with your players, right? You don't get nearly enough of it. But that's not just here now. That's all over the place. Yeah, whoever came up with it, there are no lose, Anyway, yeah, it does. It boils your blood. You play the game and you win or you lose. That's it. No trophies for the losers. No participation trophies for that's it. You did. You lost. You gave it your best and you lost. It's an interesting part. 1681 Ballou. We call him players limit his offensive coordinator staff candidates. Doesn't a first-time coach need more support staff, not less? That really is a really good question. The moral of the question to me is I don't care because I want the long-term consistency with Liam Coen and Trevor Lawrence. Let's say you hire an offensive coordinator and he is part of the game plan. He is part of the scheme. He puts in with Liam Coen the scripted plays. I mean, he has all this say on what to run offensively, but when the play clock is ticking, it's Liam Coen who's in the headset and in the helmet of Trevor Lawrence calling that play. You still want solid coaching. And what happens if all of a sudden this thing works and Jacksonville starts winning double-digit games and Jacksonville starts going to the playoffs on a yearly basis? They haven't done that in 20 years. So it's not like it's something that you would expect right out of the gate. But you know what happens. The NFL fires 6, 7, 8 coaches a year. They're going to come here to Jacksonville. They're going to take your offensive coordinator. You can afford to lose your offensive coordinator because Liam Coen is your head coach and he's calling plays. Just like Sean McVay is. Just like Andy Reid is. Just like Sean Payton is. This is what you want with Liam Coen at the age of 39. You want him to be the play call with Trevor Lawrence for the next 10-plus years. And they grow together. And if you bring in an offensive coordinator and because of the success of the organization, he gets plucked, that happens to good teams. But your 1-2 combo is still in place with Lawrence and Coen. That is why all along I eliminated defensive candidates. I eliminated them all. Listen, I won't change now. Ben Johnson was the guy that I wanted more than any. Now that this organization has decided on Liam Coen, I'm not going to sit here and every night and complain about it and say they made the wrong hire. Hell no. I don't have that in me, especially in late January. I don't have it in me. But I think that's the most important part of it. Chip Kelly's been rumored to go to 3 different teams, including Houston, here, right? Maybe stay at Ohio State. Larry Foote is a guy who could be promoted from Tampa to come over here. Actually, Larry Foote is the defensive side. I'm thinking of Kevin Carberry, the offensive line coach, coming over from Tampa. There's actually a couple of guys from Tampa. One, an old friend here that a lot of you folks will remember from years ago, Jake Peets. Started here as a scout, was an assistant, quarterbacks coach back in 2012. Has moved all over. Actually went to LSU. and, went off to the Los Angeles Rams, guy that he worked with 2 years ago before going back to Kentucky. So those are the names that have been mentioned. Chip Kelly, Jake Peetz, and Kevin Carberry. The three most prominent offensive coordinator names that have been thrown out there. So, no timetable for that, as we know. We didn't even have a chance. Let's take a break. We didn't even have a chance to get into this because there was so much material to cover, but this is an important week. I mean, you have two games coming up this week. You have the East-West Shrine on Thursday, and you have the Senior Bowl on Saturday. So I would assume that the Jaguars have their – Ethan Wall was there today. I would assume that Jaguar scouts and some front office types are at these events as they are observing practice. And then, of course, the game, again, Thursday and Saturday, two more games collegiate-wise coming up this week. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Let's do that. We'll grab some calls. Actually, no calls. Let's stay with the texts. Let's do that. They're working well. 641-1010. That is the best way to get on in. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
She's never taken no for an answer.
You can't cook, you can't dance.
And that's why she's on Helmets and Heels.
You're a woman, right?
Mia O'Brien.
That makes me rather dangerous.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
This is Dr. George Bari, inviting you to look online at BariOrthopedics.com for the latest in medical advancements when it comes to getting you back to full joint health. After studying under Dr. James Andrews, I know proper diagnosis is the first key to treatment, and educating the patient is the fastest path to recovery. Whether it's chronic back pain, nagging arthritis, or necessary joint replacement, we're here to serve you in the best possible way. We are Bari Orthopedics and online at BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it. They do it, whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hi, it's Ben, second generation from Beard's Diamonds. Guys, if you're popping a question soon, looking for an anniversary gift, before you buy anywhere, shop Beard's. From a half carat to 10 carats, Beard's will beat any competitor's price.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Kick off the new year with a new look for your home. It's the Renewal by Andersen New Year's sales event. For a limited time, save 20% on their energy-efficient windows and patio doors, designed to keep your home comfortable all year. Plus, zero down, no payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. Offer expires January 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Mike Dempsey here. All right, we're almost a month into the new year. How's that resolution to drop your first 20 to 25 pounds going? Didn't happen? Yeah, well, that's probably because you didn't call Awaken 180 weight loss. I did, and in just 4 weeks, I dropped 23 pounds and was at my goal. But here's the crazy part. It didn't stop there. It was so easy. I kept going. Did it another week. Next thing I know, I'm down 27 pounds. That's right, 27. You know what's wild? I can still see my abs again. Not ripped. I don't have a six-pack, but I didn't even think I had those anymore before Awaken 180. It's amazing when you see the results. Feel the results. You just want to keep pushing forward. That's what makes Awaken 180 so different. It's not some medication quick fix where the weight comes off and comes back. It's real results that you can see and feel. Fast results and lasting results. Results that make you want to keep going. To reach a goal you never thought possible. Want the same for you? Then do it. Call the solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss, 844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com today.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs or maybe a logoed stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Urology for common cancers of the prostate, bladder, and kidney. Early detection is key with 5 locations across Northeast Florida. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, football winding down again. A couple of bowl games coming up this week, all-star games, if you will. East-West Shrine on Thursday, Senior Bowl over the weekend, and then a week from Sunday, we will get the Chiefs and Eagles. Right now, to me, the Eagles are the better team, but would you bet against the Chiefs? That's the tough one right there. They just find a way. Both teams had the referees in their back pocket yesterday. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I hate coming in here complaining about referees, especially if it has no bearing on anything that involves you or me. You know, don't you want to save complaints about officials for something that is really significant? I could care less who won any one of those games yesterday. I just sat back and watched them. But they were big players in them both. Some really bad calls. But that's the game. That's where we are when it comes to the officiating. All right, let's get back to Liam Coen, introduced a little bit earlier today over at the Miller Electric Center. Talked a lot about running the football. Okay? Jaguars really struggled in this category last year. Certainly the last 6 games of the season was really bad. And, you know, I know there's a lot of ways that you can spin it. You had a backup quarterback by then. You were trailing in so many of these games. I mean, the rushing offense in 2024, 101.7 yards a game, 26th in the NFL. In 2023, 96.8 yards a game. All right? First 12 games last year, 124.3 yards. So that was better than the last 5 weeks. They averaged 69.3 yards rushing a game. Just awful. I mean, just pathetic. 2 years ago, when Liam Coen was at Kentucky, was it Kentucky or was he with L.A. 2 years ago? He went back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, he had, 4 different, two stops twice over, if that makes any sense. He went Kentucky, L.A., or he went L.A., Kentucky, before winding up in Tampa. But if you go to the 2023 season, Tampa Bay was dead last in rushing, just over 80 yards a game. And this year, with what Liam Coen did, he took them into the top 3. Again, 149.6 yards a game rushing the football. So let's play number 10. He was asked a little bit earlier today, how and what was your approach fixing the rushing attack for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
It's a great question. I think those guys that first started with their willingness and openness
and a little bit of humility to not want to be at the bottom anymore. And that was the reality, right? The previous 2 years, those guys, they wanted more from themselves. They wanted a different respect level around their peers and around the NFL. And so all we did was come in with the mindset of it takes all 11. It takes all 11 to get better in the run game. Mike Evans, Hall of Famer, digging out support on the front side of runs, selflessness, quarterback being involved, everybody being involved, and you started to show them examples of that, whether it's in LA, Minnesota, whatever it is, Green Bay, a ton of different places run a similar system and have had similar success running the football, which now also helps the pass game, the defense, the special teams. And so I think the buy-in was pretty quick, but those guys knew it had to happen.
You know, I'm not going to compare anyone in this organization to Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer, and he nailed it. I mean, Mike Evans, I watched a lot of Buccaneers football. The GF is a couple years at Texas Tech, and then she went to Oklahoma. So whenever Baker Mayfield's on, we watch. Okay, it's on one of the screens. Mike Evans is a fearless downfield blocker. And he is an incredible leader. Jacksonville doesn't have a guy like that right now in their offense. They just don't. So that is a little perplexing, only because you can't expect Gabe Davis to give you that. You can't expect in year 2 Brian Thomas Jr. to give you that. You can't expect Devin Duvernay to give you that. Christian Kirk's a leader, but he's a different type of leader. He's not a Mike Evans type of leader. And we don't even know if Christian Kirk's going to be able to survive this. If he's going to be is he going to be a cut casualty? But you understand where I'm going with it? I mean, and that's what I mean about leadership. To me, that is one of the biggest concerns. And he did, he was at Kentucky last year because he was calling plays. He went from offensive coordinator with the Rams in 2022, where Sean McVay was still calling plays, to calling them in 2023 under Mark Stoops. Then he went to Tampa Bay and called them this past year. But if you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, Bucky Irvin averaged 5.4 yards a carry. Okay? 207 carries. Rashad White, 4.3 yards a carry on 144 totes. Sean Tucker, 6.2 on 50 carries. I mean, this was a solid rushing football team. So I think that part of it is actually pretty cool. You got to put the right scheme together. You know, a lot of people believe that was the issue. Jacksonville's scheme is pretty complex. You know, do they need a more of a not to simplify the blocking scheme, but do they need to change some things around to make it a little bit easier to understand? I don't know. I mean, they lauded over Phil Rauscher. Phil Rauscher. He was supposed to be like the up and coming. It just never worked. 92-32, Boo. I want to run through a brick wall for this guy lover's energy. Yeah. I get that. Now, will the players love it? He's a young guy. He didn't play in the league. Doesn't mean you can't be successful by not playing in this league. Right? The 3 guys I keep mentioning, McVay, Peyton, Reed. Randy Reed's on the cusp of becoming one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen. There are others who play it, who dictate the respect because they played the game. Right? Not the case here. Stop with the refs. Helped out the Eagles yesterday. Washington themselves. No, they didn't. Philadelphia got all the calls yesterday. I could care less about Philadelphia, Washington. I don't care. It was obvious. Philadelphia got calls. Yada, yada, yada. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to get into that either. 89-25 Blue. What is Cohen's action plan right now? Staffing, scouting, player assessment, input on GM search from the all of the above. He's got to hire an offensive coordinator, a defense coordinator. I didn't mention Grant Adinsky either. There's another guy that has been rumored to be interviewing here as the assistant offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in Minnesota, right? We also know that Durante Jones is apparently interviewing in Jacksonville for the defensive coordinator position. He's been the defensive backs coach. He's been the passing game coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. So, a couple of interviews coming there out of Minnesota, one offensively and one defensively. Shad Khan today said that there would be a role for Tony Boselli. What is that role going to be? Shad was very brief on it. He said that he wanted to make sure that they were doing things the correct way and that, he had notified the National Football League and he was waiting to hear back from them. For those of you who do not know, Tony Boselli had a role in the hiring of Liam Cohen. There's been a lot of rumors and some speculation that Tony Boselli is going to be joining the front office in some capacity. I've been pretty outspoken about the fact that Jacksonville needs a liaison between Shad and the coach, between the general manager and Shad, etc. And I think Boselli absolutely foots the bill. Would be perfect for that responsibility. I don't think Tony is the guy that you should look at for the NFL draft or for free agency. I just don't think that is his expertise. You got to be a football man who's been in the trenches, who knows what to look for, what have you. But there's a lot of things that Boselli can help out on. And I would like to see this front office expand. I mean, Ethan Waugh was there today. There was no mention of him. I don't know if Ethan Waugh is going to be a part of this as they move forward. I don't like to see anyone lose their job. But to me, more change needs to happen for the reason that I have told you in almost every show for the last umpteen days. There's been too much acceptance of losing around here. And you can't stop bringing back people that have been used to losing, that have been comfortable with losing, that have been walking around the Miller Electric Center smiling when they lose. No, I flush them. Say goodbye. I'm sure there's a few people that you're going to keep. They're great football people. Heath Farwell is one. That was announced today. But less is more here. It really is. They may be really good football people. You need fresh blood. You need to bring in some people who know what it's like to win. You need to bring in some people who are comfortable with winning. Okay? Not losing. And you're going to lose some good people over it. And that's disappointing. But that is a concern for me. That all of a sudden it's going to trickle in, oh, this guy's staying. Oh, this one. No. Go to winning organizations. Bring in people who will show you how to win. Yeah, in the case of Ethan Waugh, he may have every excuse imaginable. I worked under Trent Baalke. Trent this, Trent that. Trent this, Trent that. I was a yes man. Okay, maybe you get with Ethan Waugh. Maybe you pick his brain. Maybe he's got some real good ideas. Maybe people believe, hey, Ethan Waugh, if you don't make him the general manager, which I have not heard, you have him do something else, some other responsibility. If he's that good of a football man, maybe you make an exception. They did with Heath Farwell. But I'm very, very, very limited on the exceptions. You've got to go other places. It takes a lot of work. A lot of people thought Shad was kind of snooty today. Brent Martineau asked a question. I thought it was kind of, I thought he was joking. I didn't take it that way. That Shad was upset. Trent went digging a little bit about the, Brent Martineau went digging a little bit about the, the firing of Trent and whether or not he learned something from it. And I've known Shad for 13 years. I didn't look at it as if he was upset. Was he maybe having a little bit of fun with it? I tell you what it was, Dylan. It was Shad Khan's way of honestly being Bill Belichick, saying, we're on to Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm the boss.
This was Shad Khan's way of saying, don't even ask me about Trent Baalke anymore. We're on to the next GM.
Yeah, I kind of got the same vibe. I was like, he asked the question. He didn't care to answer. He said, do what's best for the team, and that's it. And he doesn't have to give an answer.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. Some people took it the wrong way. And listen, I'm not here to defend anyone. I've known Brett Martineau forever. He's a friend of mine. Shad Khan, I've always had the utmost respect for. I didn't think it came across the way that some people out there feel as though it did. On the flip side, I'm sure Shad's really aggravated that he has to be here. That once again, he has to introduce a new coach. That once again, he has to talk about being a 4-13 owner. I'm sure that aggravates him. I'm sure that the fact that this thing has just begun, he now has to figure out who the general manager is going to be. He now has to figure out what are the front office positions am I opening up. How much say does he have on guys that we have mentioned and turning this complete staff around? I would think that the coaching staff is going to be 100% Liam Cohen's decision. Look at this Mickey Mouse organization a year ago with Ryan Nielsen. Apparently he was a bulky guy. See, you don't need any of that crap around anymore. You don't. You're not going to show up and be 14-3 in a year. But what you need is you need guys on the same page. You need a pecking order. You need to completely control your institutional way of life, okay? Who has the final say? Your general manager is picking your defensive coordinator? We still don't know if that's the truth. That was hidden. Shh. I mean, no. Doug Peterson picks the defensive coordinator. That's going to be the way. The last thing I want to hear is that some general manager is telling Liam Cohen who to pick as his coordinators and who to pick as his position. Liam Cohen does that. Now, when we get to the draft and free agency prior to that, that is where that role comes into play. The general manager with his pro player personnel and his college scouting and all of the scouts and all of the hours that they have put together to come up with a plan and a sheet on how to draft. To me, the general manager does that. Obviously, you ask, and there's a lot of input that comes from your head coach. But that's what the general manager is there for, in my opinion. You get the 5th pick in the draft. Should Liam Cohen have say on who's going to be the 5th player in the draft? Absolutely, you should have a say. But I don't think he at 39 years of age is the one that is making the pick here. I think you go through your due diligence, you hire the right general manager, whether it's Ian Cunningham or whoever it may be. You hire the right GM. And they make the pick. So anyway, to answer you, 89-25, his plan of action right now, he's got to find some coaches. Player assessment will come up, but he's also got to have people that are continuously doing their work, both at the Senior Bowl and the East-West Shrine. Those are tomorrow's stars. Those are tomorrow's draft picks. Draft is in 87 days. Again, we didn't even have time to ask any of that today. It was lengthy, but it was very thorough. But there's still, some Q&A that you would love to accomplish, and maybe we will sooner or later. I don't know, but to me, that's a big part of all this. Who's in Mobile, Alabama? Who's repping the Jaguars right now? You better have someone at the Senior Bowl, and you better have someone at the East-West Shrine Bowl, and so, yeah, I mean, That's a big part of it. And that whole scouting, I mean, I'm sure they're wondering, am I going to lose my job? Am I going to lose my... They've put in the work. They traveled the country. Went from college game to college game. They put all of their stuff in. Bulky's not here anymore. So that in itself is a huge part of this, and it never gets really talked about, but it's huge. I mean, do you trust the work that's done? Or do you trust that Liam Cohen has say now in the next general manager, and that general manager, if he's assistant GM right now, does his former team wrong by taking all his information and bringing it in and giving it to Liam Cohen and giving it to Shad Khan? I don't even know how that spirit of the rule technically works. I've heard both sides of it over the years. Nah, we got much more to do. My name's Rick Ballou.
5, 4, 3, 2. Number 1 for sports in the 904 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, superiorfenceandrail.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The big game is almost here, and Sonny's Barbecue wants you to win a barbecue feast. Text Sonny's to the text line brought to you by Lifetime Flooring at 641-1010 for your chance to win. 641-1010.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 27, 1969, 37-year-old Chuck Noll becomes the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, where at the time he was the youngest head coach in the NFL, leading the Steelers to 4 Super Bowl victories.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights.
It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or matt-jacksonville.com.
Mia here for MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it, and we're now set for the final stretch of the road to New Orleans. MyBookie is the one book that has your back. No fluff, no second guessing, just straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we have you covered too. Step 1, use our promo code 1010XL. That'll double your bankroll with a 50% deposit bonus straight from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The big game prop bets are going to be plentiful. Take a hard look at player props and those wacky big game props you select each year from MyBookie. Stack that with MyBookie's Risk-Free Thursdays. Why wait? That's right there, a new risk-free odds boost each and every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now and get your 50% bonus with MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. The road to New Orleans is here for the big game. Bet anything, anytime, and from anywhere with MyBookie. And don't forget that promo code 1010XL.
The Electric Light Orchestra Experience featuring Evil Woman, the American ELO. A concert celebration featuring the music of Electric Light Orchestra. It's February 5th at Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Doug Marone's found a job. Going to stay in Boston. He was an offensive assistant at BC under Bill O'Brien. Now moves over to Mike Vrabel, where he will coach the offensive line. Around here, trying to figure things out. The offensive line coach is huge, enormous. The offensive scheme. You have an understanding of what Liam Coen did in Tampa, and it's much different than what Doug Peterson and Press Taylor ran here in Jacksonville. It ended up being very beneficial for Trevor Lawrence. And, you know, Trevor's success came how? Trevor's success came in a panic. Trevor's success came when the team was trailing, when they were in a no huddle, when they were lining up, you know, there at the line of scrimmage. And it was almost like he was playing street ball. When you actually put together a game plan, especially to begin games in the first quarter, this offense absolutely was awful. You looked it up. What did you say? It happened in the last game of the year. What was the first time it happened when they actually scored on their first possession?
The one game I saw was the Jets.
Okay, so that would have been what, week 14, 15, something like that? I mean, I think they went 21 or 22 straight games without scoring on their opening possession. That's almost hard to do. I mean, there's so many things that need to be fixed. But if you're able to do that, let's say you can fix, 3 or 4 things, you're going to be that much more competitive. I've never seen anything like this at the pro level. Why was this team asleep every single week in the first quarter? I mean, how do you explain that?
That's coaching.
And I look at Tampa, they got things going early. You know what Tampa had? Leads. Jacksonville never has leads. It was just so incredibly disappointing that no matter what the situation was, when you watch the Jaguars play football, they're trailing. And they script these plays, and they just did not work. 3 and outs or a turnover, punt team. If Liam Cohen can fix that, every once in a while, give this fan base a field goal to begin the game. Give them a scoring drive. It can change the entire complexion of the game. You can start to take over the time of possession. You can start to wear down defenses, and certainly you do that more that you run the football. So that's a huge fire or a huge part of this. What's he going to do defensively? He now comes from a Tampa Bay defense that gave up a ton of points early in the year. They got a little bit better late, but they play a 3-4 style of defense. This year, Jacksonville switched over to a 4-3 style of defense. You look at a guy like Patrick Graham that I would say right now is probably the one that most Jaguar fans would like. Runs a 4-3. And that in itself is very, very interesting to me. As we said a little bit earlier, they've gone to Minnesota, both offensively and defensively. Durante Jones, passing game coordinator, defensive backs coach, has now completed his interview here today. There's talk that Grant Udinsky of Minnesota is coming in as the assistant offensive coordinator and assistant offensive quarterbacks coach for the Minnesota Vikings. So a couple of guys from Minnesota in. Back to Shad Khan for a moment. I'm sure this is when you're worth $12.2 billion, don't you want to put your feet up? I mean, how much work do you want to do? This is work for Shad Khan. And it's not like he can trust others to fully go through the interview process without him being there. I mean, is he allowing Ethan Waugh and Tony Baselli and his son, Tony Khan, to complete the offensive and defensive coordinator search? I got to believe Liam Cohen is absolutely involved in all of this. Again, I don't agree with the way that they did it. I would have hired a GM first and a coach second. Call me crazy. I wouldn't have hired a 39-year-old first-time head coach first and then everything else later. But it happened that way, and I'm going to support it. I don't have that inside me. I don't have those genetics. I don't have those vibes to pound the table every day and say, what are they doing? What are they? This is what they chose. I hope it works. I do. I hope it works. I mean, anything could happen. They could take the interim tag off Ethan Waugh. They could go hire Ian Cunningham tomorrow. I don't know. They got a lot of work to do. And Shad Khan's got a lot of work to do. I mean, thinking of Shad Khan right now, I'm thinking he's in town for a couple of weeks. He's got to be a part of this. Can he just zoom in? I mean, if you're hiring your general manager, if you're hiring your offense and defense, and you're the owner of the team, and you're the losingest franchise in professional athletics over the last 10 years, don't you want to be here in person to have a meal with them, to walk around the Miller Electric Center with them, or can you get by on Zoom? I don't know. My opinion is you got to, you want to be here. 35-25, how much credit is due to Baselli, and also what do you think his role will be? I think he gets a lot of credit for the Liam Cohen situation. I mean, that was dead, and it reappeared. And Shad wasn't too expressive about making that phone call and getting him back over here. I wonder if Baselli had a lot to do with that. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know. Baselli's role, again, should be the connection between Shad and the coach and Shad and the GM. A guy who has the respect of everyone. It's unfair to ask other people to do things along those lines. This organization has made so many mistakes. And some of you don't like it when I bring it up. I don't enjoy bringing it up, but it's true. a year ago at this point, it was 18 days. We still hadn't heard from Trent Baalke. Do you have any idea how Bush League that is for a professional franchise? To allow 18 days to go by and you do not hear from your general manager when you had a colossal failure after going 8-3, you lose 5 of 6, and you don't make the play, and you don't even hear from him. What Tony Baselli does is he walks up to Trent Baalke and he says, Trent, speak to the freaking media, will you? Get out there and answer the questions. All right? You can't expect the PR to do that. You can't expect Doug Peterson to do that. Shad Khan's got a million things going on. He's making all this money. He's got all these other companies. You can't expect him to be. That's what Tony Baselli does. And Tony Baselli can turn right around and go up to Shad Khan, whatever he's heard, whatever's going on that maybe we have no idea about. This is going on in the Miller Electric Center. That's going on in the Miller Electric Center. I want to let you know. I'm not trying to make it seem like he's a paid rat. No. But he is a conduit. He is a liaison between the three most important people on the Jaguars: Shad Khan, Liam Cohen, and the general manager. You need someone like that. Someone that is respected by the other parties. Take a break here. Let me give you one other example. I mentioned it before. Here's what I believe Tony Baselli could do if he had this job a year ago. In my opinion now. This is my opinion. Doug Peterson screwed this thing up so badly. I am convinced that if Doug Peterson called plays, they win 6, 7, 8 games. Maybe that's best case scenario now since they're all gone. But maybe it's Tony Baselli who goes to Shad Khan and says, Shad, tell Doug Peterson to call the plays. Tell him to call the plays or he's fired. For those of you who thought Shad Khan was aggravated today, maybe Shad Khan feels like he's overworked today. I didn't take it that way, but some of you did. I'm looking at your responses here on social media. Maybe that's on Shad Khan. Why didn't Shad Khan walk up to Doug Peterson if he meets with him once a week, if he meets with him after the game, and say, Doug, here's the deal. Call plays or you're fired. Maybe Shad never considered that. Maybe he never thought about that. Maybe if he has a guy like Tony Baselli in a professional way, Baselli can say to Shad Khan, Shad, Doug Peterson has to call the plays. Maybe Shad Khan says, deliver the message. Tony Baselli becomes Ray Donovan. He walks into Doug Peterson's office and he says, I just talked with Shad Khan. Call plays. If you don't, you're fired. Maybe that's what it takes. And maybe, hopefully 9 out of 10 times it's a joyous story and it's a joyous conversation. They're talking about family and friends and good food and fine wine. But every once in a while, it gets ugly. I mean, this organization didn't have anyone. It was so simple. We said it here. You said it in the bar room. You said it in church. We all said it. Doug, call plays. No one in the Miller Electric Center said it. It's that simple. Call plays. So hire Baselli. And by the way, this may be the example I gave you may have been among the most heated of scenarios that you can think of. Everything else pales in comparison. But you still need a guy who's respected like Baselli in that role. That's my opinion. Again, I don't want Tony Baselli heading up the draft. I don't want Tony Baselli heading up free agency. But I want him in that role. And that's where this organization missed. And you hope they won't any longer. I know I gave you examples of things that are no longer here, but it was so incredibly fixable with just simple leadership. And it's been lacking around here. Hopefully today is a start of things that are changing for the better. That's all you can hope for. All right, we got much more to do. Take you up till 8 o'clock right here on this Monday night. Then Hacker Nation will join you.
Children learn a lot about life from sports. Teamwork, discipline, and fair play. Values that can only be passed on by a kind, caring, mature
1010XL.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Transform your bathroom with stunning shower glass from Sky Glass Solutions in Jacksonville Beach. For a free quote, call 904-608-5151 or visit skyglasssolutions.com.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Cancer Center with on-site imaging, including whole body MRI, PET and CT scans, and mammography. Early detection is key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's the matter?
I don't know about this air conditioner, Jason.
You know, my job is actually to...
I mean, 1 minute it's working and the next minute it's not working. Every time I leave the house, I don't know if I'm coming back to a nice, cool oasis or a steaming cesspool of sweaty garbage fumes and dog farts, and then I'll never get to sleep. And I'll be too late to call someone. And what if I've got a big meeting the next morning and I haven't slept a wink?
Okay, dude. Stay cool. Or at least stay cooler.
But
Bueller Air and Plumbing can figure out why your AC only works sometimes and not all the time. We fix that kind of stuff every day.
You mean you can...
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend all your time worrying about an air conditioner that can totally be fixed, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Share a cup of coffee and range balls with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros. Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Sounds like a lot of club for this young man.
Brunch with the tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation, 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Start the new year with a fresh look for your home. It's the Renewal by Andersen New Year's sales event. For a limited time, save 20% off on our energy-efficient windows and patio doors designed to keep your home comfortable year-round and your energy bills down. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation. But hurry, the special New Year's offer won't last. License number CGC 1527613.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Coen Flowers floral arrangement. ET here with 1010XL. Okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Coen Flowers can handle it.
When it comes to towing products, your safety is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, Call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Ammon, you're always talking about how clean air is healthy air. I've had this cold for weeks. Can cleaning my air ducts actually help?
Well, Dad, I'm not a doctor, and let's be honest, you probably caught that cold from one of your grandkids. But I can tell you this, the cleaner your air, the better you'll feel.
Makes sense, but what do air ducts have to do with it?
Your ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're full of dust, allergens, and who knows what else, all that junk gets blown into the air you breathe, especially now that the heat's running. And the EPA says improving indoor air quality can reduce health risk.
So you're telling me my vents are working harder than my immune system?
Exactly. That's why Zero Res is here. We're NADCA certified, and our truck mount system is the most powerful in the industry. Right now, we're even offering $100 off your total for January.
All right, sign me up. If it makes me feel better and keeps your mom off my back, I'm all in.
Good call, Dad.
Zero Res.
Spelled border backwards. It's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Liam Cohen got the key to the city a little bit earlier today, introduced as the Jaguars' new head coach, the pride of the zoo. That is UMass. Where I come from, we refer to it as Zoomass. And after the presser today, I asked him if he's gone through, when's the last time he had gone through the maze? Yeah, they have a maze there. I know a lot of you know of The Shining and Jack Nicholson getting frozen in the maze. At the is it the Outlook Hotel or the Overlook? I think it's the Overlook Hotel, which, by the way, is very disappointing. I visited it this summer. Great golf right there in that area. The hell part of Colorado is that? It's on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. But it's nice. But they also have a maze right on the campus of the University of Massachusetts. People get wicked messed up and try to make it through the maze. So, Liam Cohen, kind of what you expected today. You know, nailed the presser. I asked him if he's going to call offensive plays. He said, absolutely. He is going to. That was my biggest concern. Check that box. Things that he said today that impressed me, talking about how physical he wants this football team to be. In the ditch. Offensive line, defensive line. Huge. Check that box. Running the football. Again, Jacksonville abysmal this past year. Last 5 weeks, they averaged 69 yards a game on the ground. He took a Tampa Bay offense that was worst in the NFL in 2023 to number 3 in the NFL this year, averaging, going from 82 yards to 149.6 yards. Totally revamped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rushing offense. Hopefully he can do the same here. Check that box. Talked about complimentary football. Wow. That might have been his most brilliant answer. You don't hear a lot of people talk about that. You know, they get knee-deep into the offense or the defense. Complimentary football. Jacksonville lost 10 games by 1 possession. Think of how many times this year the Jaguars did not play complimentary football. And if they did, who knows how many of those 1-possession losses would have been wins. And we can think of example after example where the defense just kept shutting them down. I'm trying to remember the game where they had 5 consecutive 3-and-outs. And then when you needed the defense again to do it, they allowed a touchdown. Might have been the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know. This
thing was the Eagles.
Yeah, it may have been. You know, Dylan, when you lose this much, things become a mirage. And then there was the opposite, where the offense just kept doing it. And the defense finally makes a couple of holds, and you just need your offense one more time to do it, and they go 3-and-out, or they turn the ball over. That's complementary football. Can you get it where your offense supports your defense, where your defense supports your offense? Check that box. That may have been his best moment, in my opinion. And then the one thing he said when he was asked, do we actually have that? Actually, we don't have time for that comment, but maybe we'll get to it tomorrow. But he was asked about what is the most, that you're the most excitable about with this team. And he said leadership. Well, that is where I almost fell off my chair. Because I don't think this football team has leaders. I think it is a massive issue in that locker room. And he talked about Josh Hines out, and he talked about Trevor Lawrence, who are both leaders. Okay, winning fixes it all. I wouldn't look at them as outstanding leaders for several reasons. Can you knock out Trevor the way you do, and the team didn't react the way that they should have? That's a lack of leadership. And that's just one example. I can give you 100. May have to ask you to buy me a Miller Lite if you want them off air, but that's the truth. But he said it anyway, and that's what you would expect out of a new head coach who's coming here. So he knows the game. He understands the game a hell of a lot better than I do. He's a coach. He's a head coach. He bragged about leadership. Even though I disagree with that, some of you probably agree with him. So let's check that box. He mentioned leadership today. It was a very good press conference overall for Liam Cohen.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Service by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Packer Nation is up Monday night. It's a beautiful day in the city. 70 degrees, right?
Yeah, very nice. And obviously a changing of the guard with Liam Cohen and his press conference. Heath Farwell back as the special teams coordinator. I guess that's the first official hire that Cohen has made. So, yeah, there's a lot of excitement in the city, and with good reason. I thought the press conference was very, very good, very informative.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting as well. Did anything catch you off guard today?
Yeah, offensive line. They're gonna fix the offensive line.
Don't you love it?
Yeah, I mean, he made a point of that. And Denmark and I got into this last week. I mean, the Jaguars averaged like over 4 yards a carry last year when they ran the ball. I don't think they ran the ball enough. But obviously there are issues with the offensive line. I'm not saying there's not. And Liam Cohen is going to fix those issues because he kept repeating that the offensive line is the key to basically everything.
And one quote that he said earlier today as well is, if you can't run the ball and stop the run, you're not going to win in this league.
Right.
And Jacksonville, I think we'd agree that they feel good about the tackles and they feel good about the edge. But you get inside on the offensive and defensive line, that is weak on both sides of the football.
The fact that Christian Kirk was at the press conference today, when all the thought is you save $18 million or whatever by releasing him post June 1st, does that mean anything to you that Kirk was there?
Somewhat. I thought that if Bulky stayed, Kirk would stay. Because remember last year, the two biggest contracts were Cam Robinson and Christian Kirk, and they both stayed.
Yeah, but the thought was if Kirk didn't get hurt against Green Bay, that remember the Steelers, I think, were the team at the trade deadline. But I believe the Jaguars are at $35 million under the cap, and don't quote me on these numbers, but something if you designate Kirk post June 1st, you would save and get upwards of $50 million in cap room. Is Christian Kirk worth that to keep on the roster? And then he shows up at the press conference today. I took note of that.
I would say Ingram is staying over Kirk. Right now, I would say Ingram is a yes. With Christian Kirk, my goodness, if I was going to say no, I mean, it's like 51-49.
Yeah.
That is a brutal decision because here's where you are. Can you afford at this age and with 2 injuries to restructure that contract and put more years forward? That is risky in my opinion.
And I know the way the Gabe Davis contract is structured, he's not going anywhere. Brian Thomas Jr. is not going anywhere. I guess it comes down to what do you think of Parker Washington?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the number 5 pick? Obviously, there's a ton of questions, and we have about 6 or 7 months to get them all answered.
Yeah, and you know how I stand. I get that kid out of Arizona, or I go get some offensive linemen. I'm all about offense. Get everything built around Trevor. If you lack a little bit defensively, okay, it's impossible to fix it all. But Jacksonville has draft capital. Jacksonville has money to spend in free agency. So what's coming up?
Yeah, Dave Campo is going to join me. His reaction to Liam Cohen's arrival here in Jacksonville. We're going to take some phone calls tonight for people that heard the press conference that want to sound off. They're going to be more than able to do that tonight. Also, Josh Buckhalter with Heavy.com. Josh is based up in Chicago, so I want to talk to him about Ben Johnson. I want to talk to him about Liam Cohen as well as we're with you till 10 o'clock tonight.
All right, that's coming up. Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
There he goes. That is Hacker Nation. He's coming up right now. My goodness, was it busy tonight on social media as well. Thank you to all the folks on YouTube. Good to see all of you folks out there. Including the one guy just hung up on him who said I was spewing nonsense. Yeah, I've been doing that for 34 years, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Thank you to everyone as well on the text line, which I love you. Now, there's a real crush. Me to you on the Lifetime Enclosures text line. We'll do it again tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. My name is Rick Ballou. Have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow at 6.